Do not commit adultery, the covenant that holds us together. What happens when the sacred vow shatters? Can broken trust ever be rebuilt? And how does divine grace illuminate the path to healing in a world consumed by fleeting desires? Stay tuned until the end to witness the transformative power of covenantal love. Engage with us by liking, commenting, and subscribing, and share this story to spread hope as we continue to bring you more deeply moving narratives. The fractured vow, adultery, a word that echoes with the weight of ages, is not merely a transgression of personal morality. It is a profound rupture in the very tapestry of human connection. It is the shattering of a covenant, a sacred promise, a vow made before God and witnesses, a pledge to mirror the unwavering fidelity of the divine. This commandment, "Thou shalt not commit adultery," is not a relic of a bygone era, but a piercing revelation of the intrinsic, inviolable nature of love. Consider the fall of David, a king, a man after God's own heart, yet ensnared by lust, his actions casting a long shadow of betrayal and violence. His transgression wasn't merely a private affair, it was a seismic event, shaking the foundations of his kingdom, a testament to the interconnectedness of our lives. When we break faith, we do not merely betray another person. We betray the very heart of community, the sacred bond that holds us together. In our contemporary world, where love is too often conflated with fleeting desire and commitment is seen as an optional, disposable commodity, this ancient commandment stands as a stark, unyielding truth. It reveals that fidelity is not a mere social construct, but a divine imperative, the cornerstone of human flourishing. It speaks to a deeper hunger within us, a longing for permanence, for unconditional love, for a bond that transcends the ephemeral whims of emotion. Think of the shattered glass, each fragment a reflection of a broken promise, a wounded heart, a fractured family. These pieces, though small, represent the immense devastation that ripples outward from a single act of infidelity. They are a poignant reminder that sin is not a solitary endeavor. It casts its shadow across generations, wounding not only the present but the future. Yet, amidst this landscape of brokenness, there is a glimmer of hope, a whisper of redemption. This commandment, while condemning the act, also points to the possibility of healing, of restoration. It reveals God's profound respect for the human heart, His desire to mend what is broken, to bind what is torn. This is not simply about rules and regulations. It is about the very nature of God, who is Himself faithful, who never abandons His covenant. The divine fidelity, the Hesed of God, is the model for all human love, a love that perseveres, that endures, that heals. In a world that often celebrates fleeting pleasures and disposable relationships, the seventh commandment invites us to contemplate the enduring beauty of covenantal love. It challenges us to see love not as a fleeting emotion, but as a sacred bond, a reflection of God's own unwavering love for us. It asks us, what does this ancient law reveal about God's vision for love, justice, and the healing of our world? How can we, in our brokenness, participate in the divine work of restoration, becoming beacons of fidelity in a world desperately yearning for true and lasting love? Adultery as idolatry. The sacred scriptures, in their profound and often unsettling wisdom, illuminate the stark reality that adultery is not merely a breach of human trust. It is, at its core, a form of idolatry, a betrayal of the covenantal love that mirrors the very relationship between God and His people. This is not a mere analogy, but a deeply rooted theological truth. To understand this, we must first grasp the concept of covenant. a sacred bond far transcending any secular contract. A contract is a transaction, a negotiation of terms, a legal agreement that can be dissolved when those terms are no longer met. A covenant, however, is a sacred promise, an unbreakable bond forged in the presence of God, a pledge of unwavering fidelity and love. It is a mirroring of God's own steadfast love, a reflection of his eternal commitment to his people. Hosea's marriage to Gomer, a woman who repeatedly betrayed his love, becomes a powerful, heart-wrenching parable of God's relationship with Israel. You have played the whore, forsaking your God. Hosea 9:01. These words, though harsh, are not born of anger, but of a profound divine sorrow. Hosea's relentless pursuit of Gomer, his willingness to redeem her from the depths of her betrayal, is a living testament to God's unwavering love, his enduring desire to restore the broken covenant. The ancient practice of temple prostitution in Canaan, a ritual where sexual acts were performed in the name of false gods, reveals the insidious nature of idolatry. It is a substitution of the true God with fleeting pleasures, a worship of the created rather than the Creator. Just as Israel turned to these false gods, seeking fulfillment in empty rituals, so too does the adulterer turn away from the sacred bond of marriage, seeking satisfaction in transient desires. In our modern world, the digital landscape with its endless array of dating apps and fleeting connections often mirrors this ancient idolatry. We scroll, we swipe, we seek, yet find only emptiness. We chase after the illusion of love, mistaking lust for genuine affection, confusing fleeting pleasure with lasting commitment. This relentless pursuit of immediate gratification, this worship of the self, is a form of spiritual adultery, a turning away from the true source of love and fulfillment. To commit adultery, then, is to fracture the imago Dei, the divine image of faithfulness that resides within each of us. It is to deny the very essence of our being, created in God's likeness, called to reflect his unwavering love. When we break the sacred bond of marriage, we not only betray our spouse, but we also betray the very image of God within us, the capacity for faithful, enduring love. This is not a matter of mere moral transgression. It is a spiritual catastrophe, a sundering of the soul. It is a choice to worship at the altar of fleeting desires, to seek fulfillment in the ephemeral pleasures of the flesh, rather than in the enduring love of God and the sacred bond of marriage. The Scriptures remind us that true love is not a fleeting emotion, but a steadfast commitment, a reflection of God's own unwavering love. It is a covenant, a sacred bond that transcends the ebb and flow of emotions, a promise to love and cherish in good times and in bad, until death do us part. In a world that often glorifies self-gratification and fleeting pleasures, the seventh commandment stands as a stark reminder of the sacredness of covenantal love. It calls us to examine our hearts, to confront the idols we worship, and to return to the true source of love and fulfillment. It invites us to embrace the divine image within us, to reflect God's unwavering fidelity in our own lives, and to restore the broken covenants that wound our souls and our communities. For in the restoration of these broken bonds, we find not only healing for ourselves, but also a glimpse of the divine love that binds us all together. The weight of a vow. The weight of a vow, a sacred promise made before God in community, is a cornerstone of our spiritual and social fabric. It is a testament to the enduring power of commitment, a reflection of the divine fidelity that binds heaven and earth. Jesus, in his radical reinterpretation of the law, intensifies the commandment against adultery, piercing through the veil of outward actions to the very depths of the human heart. Anyone who looks lustfully has already committed adultery in their heart. Matthew 5:28. This is not a condemnation of human desire, but a profound revelation of the inherent sanctity of the human person and the sacredness of the marital bond. Jesus' words challenge us to confront the insidious nature of lust, which reduces the other to a mere object of gratification, a fleeting pleasure to be consumed and discarded. He exposes the internal betrayal, the spiritual adultery that precedes the physical act, revealing that true fidelity begins in the heart, in the depths of our intentions. For Thomas Aquinas, this understanding of marriage as a sacrament, a sign of Christ's union with the Church, Ephesians 5:32, illuminates the profound theological significance of the marital covenant. It is not merely a social contract, but a sacred mystery, a reflection of the unbreakable bond between Christ and his bride, the Church. Marriage, in this light, is not simply about two individuals coming together, but about two souls becoming one, mirroring the unity of the divine. The Jewish ketubah, the marriage contract, with its intricate calligraphy and sacred symbolism, underscores the solemnity and permanence of the marital bond. It is a testament to the weight of the vows exchanged, a reminder that marriage is not a fleeting emotion, but a lifelong commitment, a sacred covenant that transcends the ebb and flow of human emotions. The act of renewing vows after infidelity, a painful yet profoundly redemptive experience, speaks to the transformative power of divine grace. It is a testament to the possibility of healing, of restoration, of rebuilding trust after it has been shattered. It is a recognition that even in our brokenness, God's love can mend what is torn, can bind what is broken. Lust, in its essence, is a form of spiritual blindness, a denial of the inherent dignity and sacredness of the other. It reduces a person to a mere object, a means to an end, a fleeting source of gratification. It is a betrayal of the imago Dei, the divine image that resides within each human being, the capacity for love, for compassion, for self-giving. Covenantal love, on the other hand, sees the eternal in the other. It recognizes the inherent dignity and sacredness of the human person, the divine spark that resides within each soul. It is a love that transcends the fleeting pleasures of the flesh, a love that endures, that perseveres, that seeks the good of the other. This understanding of marriage as a sacred covenant, a reflection of Christ's union with the Church, challenges us to re-examine our understanding of love and commitment. It calls us to move beyond the fleeting pleasures of lust, to embrace the enduring beauty of covenantal love. It is a love that is not based on fleeting emotions or superficial attractions, but on a deep and abiding commitment, a willingness to sacrifice, to serve, to love unconditionally. It is a love that reflects the divine love, the agape that binds us to God and to one another. In a world that often glorifies self-gratification and fleeting pleasures, the weight of a vow stands as a stark reminder of the sacredness of commitment. It challenges us to confront the idols we worship, to examine the desires that drive us, and to return to the true source of love and fulfillment. It invites us to embrace the divine image within us, to reflect God's unwavering fidelity in our own lives, and to restore the broken covenants that wound our souls and our community. For in the restoration of these broken bonds, we find not only healing for ourselves, but also a glimpse of the divine love that binds us all together, a love that is eternal, unwavering, and transformative. Augustine, The Disorder of Lust. Augustine, a man who wrestled with the very depths of human desire, diagnosed adultery not merely as a moral failing, but as a profound disorder of love, a misdirection of the soul's deepest yearnings. He understood that our hearts are inherently restless, yearning for a fulfillment that can only be found in God, the ultimate source of love and being. Our hearts are restless until they rest in you, he famously wrote. A poignant testament to the human condition, a condition marked by a longing for the infinite within a finite world. This restless heart, when misdirected, becomes a breeding ground for lust, a desire that seeks to possess and consume rather than to love and cherish. Lust fragments the soul, tearing it apart from its true purpose, its true end. It creates a chasm within, a void that can never be filled by fleeting pleasures or transient relationships. Augustine's journey, chronicled in his Confessions, is a powerful illustration of this inner struggle. He experienced the allure of worldly desires, the intoxicating pull of sensual gratification, yet found only emptiness and disillusionment. He discovered that true fulfillment lies not in the pursuit of fleeting pleasures, but in the surrender of the heart to God, in the alignment of our desires with the divine will. The tempestuous sea, with its crashing waves and churning currents, serves as a powerful metaphor for the soul ensnared by lust. It is a state of constant agitation, a relentless pursuit of satisfaction that can never be attained. The soul, adrift in this sea of disordered desires, is tossed and turned, unable to find peace or stability. In contrast, the calm, serene harbor represents the soul at peace in God's embrace. It is a state of tranquility, a sense of belonging, a deep and abiding love that transcends the fleeting pleasures of the world. It is the soul anchored in the divine, resting in the assurance of God's unwavering love. Covenantal love, the love that mirrors the Trinity's eternal dance of self-gift, stands in stark contrast to the fragmented nature of lust. It is a love that unites, that heals, that restores. It is a love that seeks the good of the other, that sacrifices self for the sake of the beloved. The Trinity, the eternal dance of Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, is the ultimate model of covenantal love. It is a love that is characterized by self-giving, by mutual respect, by unwavering fidelity. It is a love that transcends the limitations of human understanding, a love that is both divine and human, both eternal. Adultery, in its essence, is a rejection of this divine model of love. It is a choice to fragment the soul, to pursue fleeting pleasures at the expense of lasting commitment. It is a betrayal of the sacred bond of marriage, a covenant that reflects the very nature of God. Augustine's insights remind us that true love is not a fleeting emotion, but a profound commitment, a surrender of the heart to God and to one another. It is a love that is ordered, that is directed toward its true end, the ultimate source of love and being. In a world that often glorifies self-gratification and fleeting pleasures, Augustine's wisdom serves as a powerful antidote. It challenges us to examine our hearts, to confront the disordered desires that lead us astray, and to return to the true source of love and fulfillment. It invites us to embrace the transformative power of covenantal love, to reflect the Trinity's eternal dance of self-gift in our own lives, and to restore the broken bonds that wound our souls and our communities. For in the restoration of these broken bonds, we find not only healing for ourselves, but also a glimpse of the divine love that binds us all together, a love that is eternal, unwavering, and transformative. Aquinas' Marriage as Natural Law. Thomas Aquinas, with his keen intellect and deep understanding of both theology and philosophy, perceived marriage as an institution deeply rooted in natural law, a law written not on tablets of stone, but within the very fabric of human existence, in our biology and our spirit. He recognized that the union of man and woman, far from being a mere social construct, fulfills humanity's inherent dual purpose: unity and procreation. This understanding of natural law is not a rigid, deterministic concept, but a recognition of the inherent order and purpose within creation, an order that reflects the divine wisdom and love. The union of man and woman, in its fullness, mirrors this order, fostering both the intimate bond of love and the continuation of the human family. The stained glass windows depicting Adam and Eve, their union blessed by divine light, serve as a powerful symbol of this foundational truth. Their union is not merely a historical event, but a timeless archetype, a representation of the inherent complementarity between man and woman, a reflection of the divine design for human flourishing. Modern science, in its own way, echoes this ancient wisdom. The scientist explaining the role of oxytocin, the love hormone, in human bonding, reveals the biological underpinnings of love and connection. Oxytocin, released during intimate moments, fosters feelings of trust, attachment, and empathy, strengthening the bonds between individuals. This biological imperative underscores the inherent human need for connection, for intimacy, for love. Yet, Aquinas understood that marriage transcends mere biology. It is also a profoundly spiritual reality, a sacred bond that unites not only bodies but souls. The diverse global marriage rituals, each imbued with unique cultural and spiritual significance, testify to this universal human longing for sacred union. They reveal the inherent human desire to consecrate love, to elevate it beyond the realm of mere emotion, to recognize its divine dimension. Aquinas recognized that when this fundamental bond is broken, when the sacred covenant of marriage is violated, the very foundations of society are weakened. Adultery, in its essence, is a disruption of this natural order, a tearing of the fabric that holds society together. It undermines the trust that is essential for human flourishing, eroding the bonds of family and community. As Wendell Berry so eloquently states, the most political act is to love someone. This profound observation highlights the interconnectedness of personal relationships and the broader social order. True love, the kind of love that is rooted in commitment, fidelity, and self-giving, is a powerful force for good in the world. It builds strong families, fosters healthy communities, and contributes to the common good. Conversely, the fragmentation of relationships, the erosion of trust, and the pursuit of fleeting pleasures undermine the very foundations of society. Adultery, in its various forms, contributes to this fragmentation, creating a ripple effect of brokenness that extends far beyond the individuals involved. Aquinas' understanding of marriage as rooted in natural law calls us to recognize the profound significance of this institution, not only for individuals, but for the entire human family. It challenges us to uphold the sanctity of marriage, to protect the bonds of fidelity, and to cultivate a culture that values commitment, trust, and enduring love. It invites us to recognize that true love is not a mere emotion, but a sacred covenant, a reflection of the divine love that binds us all together. It calls us to embrace the inherent order and purpose within creation, to align our lives with the divine design for human flourishing, and to build a society that is founded on the principles of love, justice, and fidelity. In a world that often glorifies individualism and fleeting pleasures, Aquinas' wisdom serves as a powerful reminder of the enduring importance of marriage. of the sacred bond that unites man and woman, and of the profound impact that this union has on the well-being of individuals and the health of society. It calls us to recognize that true love is not only a personal matter, but a social imperative, a foundation for a just and harmonious world. The collapse of trust. The fallout of adultery is a catastrophe, a slow mission earthquake that shatters not only individual lives, but the very foundations of our social fabric. It is a wound that festers, leaving behind a trail of devastation that extends far beyond the immediate parties involved. We see the heartbreaking consequences in the eyes of children, grappling with trust issues that will shape their future relationships, their ability to love and be loved. We witness the economic instability that plagues broken homes, the financial burdens that compound the emotional turmoil, the shattered dreams that leave families struggling to rebuild their lives. The statistics, stark and unyielding, paint a grim picture. 40% of marriages crumble under the weight of infidelity. These numbers are not mere data points. They represent real lives, real pain, real loss. They are a testament to the profound damage that betrayal inflicts, the shattering of trust that leaves individuals and families reeling. But the deeper wound, the more insidious consequence, is the erosion of social capital, the intangible web of trust, reciprocity, and cooperation that allows communities to thrive. This social capital, built on the bedrock of fidelity and commitment, is essential for the healthy functioning of society. When trust is broken within the intimate sphere of marriage, it creates a ripple effect, undermining trust in other relationships, in institutions, and in the very fabric of our community. Children, the most vulnerable victims of infidelity, often carry the scars of betrayal for a lifetime. They struggle to trust, to form healthy attachments, to believe in the possibility of lasting love. They learn, often unconsciously, that promises can be broken, that love can be conditional, that the very foundations of their world can crumble beneath their feet. The economic costs of broken homes are staggering. Divorce often leads to financial instability, with increased expenses, reduced income, and the emotional toll of legal battles. These financial burdens can create a cycle of poverty, impacting not only the individuals involved, but also their children and future generations. Beyond the tangible costs, there is a profound crisis of meaning, a sense of disorientation and disillusionment that pervades our culture. When the sacred bonds of marriage are broken, it undermines our understanding of commitment, of fidelity, of the very nature of love itself. It leaves us questioning the possibility of lasting relationships, the meaning of vows, the purpose of commitment. This erosion of trust extends beyond the personal realm, impacting our institutions and our communities. When trust is broken in the intimate sphere, it creates a climate of cynicism and suspicion, undermining our ability to cooperate and build a better future. We become more isolated, more distrustful, more fragmented. The collapse of trust is not merely a social problem, it is a spiritual crisis. It reflects a deep-seated longing for authenticity, for integrity, for a love that is true and lasting. It reveals our yearning for a world where promises are kept, where vows are honored, where love is not a fleeting emotion but a steadfast commitment. In a world that often glorifies individualism and fleeting pleasures, the collapse of trust serves as a stark reminder of the importance of fidelity, of commitment, of the sacred bonds that hold us together. It calls us to examine our own hearts, to confront the brokenness within ourselves and our communities, and to seek healing and restoration. It invites us to rebuild the foundations of trust, to cultivate a culture of fidelity, to rediscover the enduring beauty of covenantal love. For in the restoration of trust, we find not only healing for ourselves, but also a glimpse of the divine love that binds us all together, a love that is unwavering, transformative, and eternal. Pornography, adultery in digital shadows. Pornography, the insidious shadow of modern adultery, commodifies intimacy, transforming the sacred act of love into a fleeting, disposable commodity. It reduces human beings to objects of gratification, stripping them of their dignity and inherent worth. It creates a digital illusion of connection, a counterfeit intimacy that isolates and destroys the very foundations of genuine love. Neuroscience, in its cold, clinical language, reveals the devastating impact of pornography on the human brain. It shows how the constant stimulation of explicit content rewires neural pathways, creating a preference for fantasy over the messy, imperfect reality of flesh and blood love. The brain, flooded with dopamine, becomes addicted to the artificial highs, seeking ever more extreme and degrading content, leaving the individual increasingly disconnected from the real world, from real relationships. This digital addiction fuels a dark and sinister industry, one that thrives on the exploitation and degradation of human beings. The protesters outside the trafficking hub, their voices echoing with righteous anger and sorrow, bear witness to the devastating consequences of this trade. They remind us that pornography is not a victimless crime. It is a direct contributor to the enslavement and abuse of countless individuals, many of whom are forced into this industry against their will. The isolation that pornography creates is profound. It builds walls between spouses, eroding trust, intimacy, and communication. It replaces genuine connection with fleeting, anonymous encounters, leaving individuals feeling empty, alone, and unfulfilled. It fosters a culture of objectification, where human beings are reduced to mere instruments of pleasure, where empathy and compassion are replaced by lust and control. Pope Francis, in his prophetic voice, warns us that pornography erodes our capacity to love. He recognizes the insidious nature of this addiction, its ability to distort our understanding of love, to corrupt our desires, to diminish our ability to connect with others on a deep and meaningful level. This erosion of our capacity to love is not merely a personal tragedy. It is a societal crisis. It undermines the very foundations of family and community, creating a culture of disconnection, fragmentation, and despair. It fosters a climate where human beings are seen as disposable, where relationships are treated as transactional, where the sacredness of intimacy is desecrated. Pornography, in its essence, is a form of spiritual adultery, a betrayal of the sacred covenant of love. It is a choice to worship at the altar of fleeting pleasures, to seek fulfillment in the ephemeral gratifications of the flesh, rather than in the enduring love of God and the sacred bond of marriage. The digital shadows cast by pornography obscure the light of true love, the light that illuminates the inherent dignity and sacredness of every human being. They create a world of illusion, where fantasy replaces reality, where lust replaces love, where isolation replaces connection. This digital addiction is not merely a moral failing, it is a spiritual crisis, a profound disorientation of the soul. It reflects a deep-seated longing for intimacy, for connection, for love, but a longing that is misdirected, corrupted, and ultimately unfulfilled. In a world saturated with digital temptations, the call to fidelity, to commitment, to genuine love is more urgent than ever. We must confront the insidious nature of pornography, expose its dark underbelly, and reclaim the sacredness of intimacy. We must cultivate a culture that values human dignity, that celebrates the beauty of genuine connection, that upholds the sanctity of marriage. We must teach our children the true meaning of love, the importance of commitment, the beauty of self-giving. We must seek healing for those who are trapped in the darkness of pornography, offering them compassion, support, and the transformative power of divine grace. We must rebuild the broken bonds of trust, restore the shattered foundations of intimacy, and reclaim the light of true love. For in the restoration of love, we find not only healing for ourselves, but also a glimpse of the divine love that binds us all together, a love that is pure, enduring, and transformative. The family and the common good. In a world often fractured by inequality and injustice, the sanctity of strong marriages stands as a beacon of hope, a cornerstone of social justice. It is not merely a private matter, a personal choice, but a profound public good, a foundation upon which a just and equitable society is built. The statistics, stark and undeniable, reveal the profound impact of stable families on the well-being of individuals and communities. Children raised in intact homes are 82% less likely to face poverty, a staggering figure that underscores the economic vulnerability of those without the support of a loving and committed family. The single mother, toiling tirelessly to provide for her children, is a poignant symbol of this reality. Her struggle, her sacrifice, her unwavering dedication reveal the immense burden carried by those who lack the stability and support of a strong family unit. She represents the countless individuals, disproportionately women and children, who are marginalized and disadvantaged by the breakdown of familial bonds. Conversely, the village, raising children in communal kinship, embodies the power of shared responsibility and collective support. It highlights the inherent human need for connection, for belonging, for a community that nurtures and protects its most vulnerable members. It reminds us that we are not isolated individuals, but interconnected beings, called to care for one another, to build a society where everyone has the opportunity to thrive. As Pope Francis eloquently states in Amoris Laetitia, the family is the first hospital, school, and church. It is within the family that we learn the fundamental values of love, compassion, and empathy. It is within the family that we find healing for our wounds, both physical and emotional. It is within the family that we are nurtured in faith, guided by the wisdom of generations past. Adultery, in its various forms, destabilizes this sacred institution, undermining the very foundations of a just and equitable society. It creates a ripple effect of brokenness, disproportionately harming women and children, the most vulnerable members of our communities. It erodes the trust that is essential for human flourishing, creating a climate of instability, insecurity, and despair. The graphs, linking stable families to lower crime rates, improved educational outcomes, and greater economic stability, provide tangible evidence of the profound impact of strong familial bonds. They reveal that investing in marriage is not merely a matter of personal morality, but a matter of social justice, a commitment to building a society where everyone has the opportunity to reach their full potential. Strong marriages are not merely a matter of personal happiness. They are a public good, a foundation for a just and equitable society. They provide the stability, the support, the love that children need to thrive. They foster the values of commitment, fidelity, and self-giving that are essential for a healthy community. The call to uphold the sanctity of marriage is not a call to exclusion or judgment, but a call to compassion, a call to justice, a call to build a society where everyone has the opportunity to experience the love and support of a stable family. It is a recognition that the well-being of individuals and communities is inextricably linked to the health of our families. We must challenge the cultural narratives that undermine the sanctity of marriage, that glorify fleeting pleasures and disposable relationships. We must cultivate a culture that values commitment, that celebrates fidelity, that recognizes the profound social and spiritual significance of the marital bond. We must support those who are struggling to build strong and lasting marriages, offering them compassion, guidance, and the resources they need to thrive. We must advocate for policies that strengthen families, that protect the vulnerable, that promote the common good. For in the restoration of strong marriages, we find not only healing for individuals, but also a pathway to a more just and equitable society. A society where everyone has the opportunity to experience the love, the support, and the stability that they need to flourish. It is a reflection of the divine love, the love that binds us together, the love that seeks the good of all. Restorative justice, healing the breach. The gospel, in its radical and transformative message, offers more than mere condemnation for the sin of adultery. It extends a hand of redemption, a pathway to healing, a promise of restoration. It recognizes the profound wounds inflicted by betrayal, the shattering of trust, the devastation of broken covenants. Yet it also proclaims the boundless mercy and unwavering love of God. Hosea, in his relentless pursuit of Gomer, his willingness to redeem her from the depths of her infidelity, serves as a powerful testament to this divine grace. His actions are not merely a reflection of human compassion, but a living parable of God's unwavering love for his people, his enduring desire to restore the broken covenant. Christ, in his encounter with the adulterous woman, John 8:11, embodies this same spirit of redemption. He does not condone her sin, but he refuses to condemn her. He extends to her a hand of mercy, a call to repentance, a promise of a new beginning. His words, "Go and sin no more," are not a condemnation, but an invitation to transformation, a call to embrace the fullness of life, free from the shackles of sin. Reconciliation, the arduous journey of healing and restoration, mirrors God's relentless grace. It is not a quick fix, a simple solution, but a long and often painful process, a journey of self-reflection, repentance, and forgiveness. It requires courage, vulnerability, and a willingness to confront the brokenness within ourselves and our relationships. The support group for betrayed spouses, their shared experiences of pain and healing, symbolize the power of community, the importance of bearing one another's burdens. They provide a safe space for vulnerability, a place where wounds can be acknowledged and healing can begin. The couple in therapy, their expressions reflecting the arduous journey of reconciliation, embody the courage and commitment required to rebuild trust and intimacy. They are a testament to the possibility of healing, of restoring broken bonds, of finding new life after devastation. The pastor preaching forgiveness, his words resonating with compassion and divine grace, reminds us that forgiveness is not merely a human act, but a divine gift. It is a release from the bondage of bitterness and resentment, a pathway to freedom and healing, as Desmond Tutu so profoundly stated. Without forgiveness, there is no future. Forgiveness is not about condoning sin or minimizing its impact. It is about releasing the past, embracing the present, and opening ourselves to the possibility of a new future. It is about choosing hope over despair, love over hatred, healing over bitterness. Restorative justice in its essence, is a reflection of God's own restorative love. It is a commitment to healing the breach, to restoring relationships, to building a society where justice is tempered with mercy, where brokenness is met with compassion, where forgiveness paves the way for reconciliation. The gospel calls us to be agents of this restorative justice, to extend the same mercy and grace that we have received from God. It calls us to be healers, to be reconcilers, to be ambassadors of hope in a world often fractured by brokenness. We must challenge the cultural narratives that glorify revenge and retribution, that perpetuate cycles of violence and division. We must cultivate a culture of forgiveness, a culture of reconciliation, a culture of healing. We must support those who are struggling to forgive, offering them compassion, guidance, and the transformative power of divine grace. We must create safe spaces for dialogue, for healing, for restoration. For in the restoration of broken relationships, we find not only healing for individuals, but also a pathway to a more just and compassionate society. A society where forgiveness triumphs over resentment, where love conquers hatred, where hope prevails over despair. It is a reflection of the divine love, the love that heals, the love that restores, the love that redeems. Virtue over desire. Fidelity in its essence is not a fleeting emotion, a mere sentiment, but a cultivated virtue, a disciplined practice, a muscle that grows stronger with consistent exercise. It is not built on the shifting sands of passing desires, but on the solid foundation of unwavering commitment, on the daily, intentional choices that reinforce the sacred bond of love. The couple volunteering at the food bank exemplifies this active expression of fidelity. Their love is not confined to the private sphere, but extends outward, embracing the needs of the community, reflecting the self-giving love that mirrors the divine agape. Their shared acts of service strengthen their bond, reminding them that their love is not merely for themselves, but for the world. The mentors, guiding teenagers with wisdom and compassion, are cultivating the seeds of fidelity in the next generation. They are teaching them the importance of healthy boundaries, the necessity of respect, the true meaning of love as a commitment, not a conquest. They are equipping them with the tools they need to build strong and lasting relationships, to resist the seductive allure of fleeting pleasures and empty promises. The celibate monk, his prayer a silent offering for the sanctity of marriages, embodies the power of spiritual support, the recognition that fidelity is not solely a human endeavor, but a divine partnership. His prayers are a reminder that we are not alone in our struggles, that we are surrounded by a cloud of witnesses, that we are upheld by the grace of God. The Church Fathers, in their profound wisdom, called this disciplined practice of love ascesis, a term that evokes the image of an athlete training for a race, a warrior preparing for battle. It is the deliberate cultivation of virtue, the conscious choice to prioritize the good of the other over the fleeting desires of the self. This ascesis is not a denial of human desire, but a redirection of it, a channeling of our passions toward the true end of love, the building of a lasting, sacred bond. It is the recognition that true love requires sacrifice, self-discipline, and a willingness to endure the trials and tribulations that inevitably arise in any relationship. As St. Paul reminds us, love bears all things. 1 Corinthians 13:7. This is not a passive endurance, but an active commitment, a willingness to persevere through challenges, to forgive transgressions, to rebuild trust after betrayal. It is the recognition that love is not a feeling, but a choice, a commitment to the good of the other, even when it is difficult. Building a culture of fidelity requires a conscious effort, a deliberate choice to prioritize virtue over desire. It requires small daily acts of love and commitment. Date nights, honest conversations, accountability, shared acts of service. It requires a willingness to confront our own weaknesses, to seek help when we stumble, to learn from our mistakes. It requires a community of support, a network of mentors, a spiritual foundation that upholds the sanctity of marriage. It requires a culture that celebrates commitment, that honors fidelity, that recognizes the profound social and spiritual significance of the marital bond. We must challenge the cultural narratives that glorify fleeting pleasures and disposable relationships, that undermine the sanctity of marriage. We must cultivate a culture that values commitment, that celebrates fidelity, that recognizes the profound social and spiritual significance of the marital bond. We must teach our children the true meaning of love, the importance of commitment, the beauty of self-giving. We must create safe spaces for dialogue, for healing, for restoration. For in the restoration of a culture of fidelity, we find not only healing for individuals, but also a pathway to a more just and compassionate society. A society where love triumphs over lust, where commitment prevails over fleeting desires, where the sacred bond of marriage is honored and upheld. It is a reflection of the divine love, the love that endures, the love that restores, the love that redeems, the witness of radical love. In a world that often values fleeting pleasures and disposable relationships, the enduring power of lifelong love stands as a beacon of hope, a testament to the transformative power of commitment. Like a lighthouse guiding ships through stormy seas, a marriage that endures through the ebb and flow of life's tides becomes a beacon of hope, a testament to the transformative power of commitment, a prophetic act. The elderly couple, their hands clasped, their faces etched with the wisdom of a lifetime spent together, are a prophetic presence in our world. Their love, a testament to the enduring power of commitment, challenges the prevailing cultural narratives that glorify fleeting pleasures and disposable relationships. Their marriage is not merely a personal achievement, it is a public witness, a radical act of love that challenges us to reimagine the possibilities of human connection. Beyond the veil of time, their love, forged in the crucible of time, transcends the ephemeral nature of fleeting emotions. It is a love that has weathered storms, celebrated triumphs, and endured the inevitable trials that come with the passage of time. It is a love that has deepened with each passing year, a love that has become a tapestry woven with threads of shared memories, mutual respect, and unwavering commitment. A tapestry of shared memories. Their love story is not a fairy tale, but a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, the power of forgiveness, and the enduring beauty of commitment. It is a reminder that true love is not a destination, but a journey, a continuous process of growth, discovery, and renewal, a beacon of hope. In a world often marked by cynicism and disillusionment, their love is a beacon of hope, a reminder that lasting love is possible, that true happiness is found not in the pursuit of fleeting pleasures, but in the cultivation of deep and meaningful relationships. A call to action. Their love challenges us to re-examine our own understanding of love and commitment, to question the cultural narratives that undermine the sanctity of marriage, and to embrace the transformative power of lifelong love, a love that endures. As the Song of Songs proclaims, many waters cannot quench love. 8, 7. This enduring love A love that transcends the vicissitudes of life is a testament to the power of the human spirit, the resilience of the human heart, and the enduring hope that love can conquer all. A love that transforms. The foster parents, their hearts overflowing with love and compassion, embody the transformative power of radical love. Their decision to open their homes and hearts to a child in need is a testament to their unwavering commitment to the common good, their willingness to extend the circle of love and compassion to those on the margins of society. A love that heals. Their love is not merely a personal choice. It is a prophetic act, a witness to the transformative power of love to heal wounds, to mend broken hearts, and to restore hope to those who have been lost and forgotten. A love that inspires. Their love is a source of inspiration, a reminder that we are all interconnected, that we are all responsible for the well-being of our communities, that we are called to love our neighbors as ourselves. A love that rebuilds. The reformed addict, their life transformed by the power of love and forgiveness, is a testament to the redemptive power of human connection. Their journey of healing is a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there is always hope for redemption, for renewal, for a new beginning, a love that sets us free. Their love is a source of inspiration, a reminder that we are all capable of transformation, that we can break free from the chains of addiction, the shackles of the past, and embrace a life of purpose and meaning. A love that calls us to action. Their love challenges us to be agents of change, to work for a world where every child has a loving home, where every person has the opportunity to experience the transformative power of love and compassion, a love that reflects the divine, the love of the foster parents, the love of the reformed addict, the love of the elderly couple. These are all reflections of the divine love, the love that binds us together, the love that heals, the love that redeems, a love that endures forever. As we contemplate these examples of radical love, we are reminded of the enduring power of human connection, the transformative power of love, and the unwavering hope that love can conquer all. A call to action. The call to cultivate a culture of fidelity is not merely a personal choice. It is a social imperative, a responsibility we share as members of the human family. It is a call to embrace the transformative power of love, to build bridges of understanding, to heal the wounds of the world, and to create a future where love prevails. A future built on love. In a world often fractured by division and despair, the witness of radical love offers a beacon of hope, a reminder that a better future is possible, a future built on the foundation of love, compassion, and unwavering commitment, a love that transforms the world. Let us embrace the transformative power of love. Let us cultivate a culture of fidelity, and let us work together to build a world where love conquers all. Closing scene, the banquet of the Lamb. Visuals, a wedding feast in Cana, John 2:01. 11 diverse families sharing a meal. A sunrise over a renewed city. The sixth commandment, thou shalt not commit adultery, is not a burden but a gift. It is a call to safeguard the divine spark within every soul, to recognize the sacredness of every human life, and to cultivate a culture of love and respect from the moment of conception to the final breath. From the cradle to the grave, we are called to be keepers of the sacred, to nurture the seeds of life, to tend to the wounds of the world, and to honor the dignity of every human being. This is the breath of resurrection, the promise of new life, the hope that even in the midst of darkness, light will prevail. It is the call to turn from the shadows of destruction and embrace the path of life, to choose love over fear, compassion over indifference, and unity over division. Let us build a world where swords become plowshares. Isaiah 2:04, where every life is cherished, where violence gives way to peace, and where the image of God is reflected in the loving gaze of every human being. For as we honor the image of God in others, we rediscover it within ourselves and in the shared humanity that binds us all. Thank you for accompanying us on this profound exploration of Do Not Commit Adultery, the covenant that holds us together. We've journeyed through the complexities of broken trust, the sacredness of covenant, and the transformative power of divine grace. If this exploration into the depths of fidelity and healing has resonated with you, we invite you to join the Hope in God community. Let us walk together on the path of restoration, finding strength in our shared journey. Subscribe for more theological reflections, delving into the heart of God's love and the human experience. Share your own stories of grace and healing, bearing witness to the power of redemption. Engage in the comments below, fostering a community of support and understanding. Seek out resources and support for building stronger, more faithful relationships. Let us continue together, finding hope in every step of our shared pilgrimage towards a deeper understanding of God's covenant and the enduring power of love.